Looks like I'm rolling.
I guess just 2 claps. So, let's get it started. Hello again. Thank you for coming to join me on my little ride today. I have, again, no destination in mind. Don't really know where I'm. You will recognize a familiar location of RFK Stadium. That's because I always come here to practice low-speed maneuvers, wheelies, things that I can't normally do very well. I have changed the way that I'm recording. I'm using the GoPro on my chest this time. I don't know if you can see it in the front shot. And I'm using my iPhone to record a front-facing video. Now, if you look at the setup for my GoPro, you may also see why the heck do you have a quad lock in the middle if you're just going to be recording video from the front? And the answer to that is I don't really have a good answer. It's a pain in the ass to take the quad lock off, so it's staying on. I am starting from RFK. I'm going to go downtown, just kind of noodle around a little bit, see what's going on. I just got a message from my buddy this morning. He said, hey, I'm going to go riding out on the dirt trails, and he lives out in South Dakota, so I was very jealous. Unfortunately, my trails are not as cool as his because my trails are the city. Here is what I was saying the other day, where on Saturdays or Sundays they have a fun, what is this, farmer's market, it's kind of farmer's market vibe, kind of flea markets vibe. It's, but it's a cool time. Would recommend. I wouldn't come all the way out here for it, but if you're in the area on a Saturday morning, it's kind of nice. We're going on Benning Road, which we went on last time. Benning Road is one of the, not infill, but there's a word for it where it's kind of an artery road into DC from Maryland. It becomes another road that, I don't know, I'll pull up a map, but it becomes a different road on its transition from Maryland. But you get a lot of bad drivers because you got the Maryland drivers over here, shade intended. And then you get a lot of faster cars that shouldn't be that fast. And then you got me, just riding around. So yeah, this video is more to show my friend out in South Dakota, shout out Adam, that I have no trails where I am. My roads are just boring. Oh my goodness, this front-facing camera is getting a little shaky. I have a feeling I will be using a lot of the footage from my GoPro, and I did not use a lot of the footage from my camera, my phone camera last time, because of how overexposed it was. It was so flippin' bright, and I learned that my auto exposure was not set correctly on this camera app that I'm using. See, if I was using the regular video app, I would know how to use it, but Apple doesn't give you any recording options for external microphones using the video app, or at least not that any that I could find. I still love my iPhone, but I might get another GoPro or something just to have a little bit better of a video recording feature. Now, despite the iPhone not having an external mic option in the default video app, the GoPro doesn't have any external mic options. I have to buy a do not turn left, that is illegal, sir. I have to buy a $60 adapter to even use a wired one, and it doesn't work with Bluetooth, so I have to then plug in my Cena, which, you know, may have better quality if I do that. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. So, talk about trying to, like, oversell you on stuff. But on Apple, at least you can download apps that work for audio. My thinking here is I will likely get another GoPro and then record audio separately on an audio track on my phone. That way I'm not buying another $60 adapter. The GoPro itself cost $80, so I don't know how they can justify charging $60 just to record audio. Now we are on H Street. Get a little bit of an H Street Farmers Market vibe going. Oh, so pretty. All the scooter riders waiting for their DoorDash orders to come in. H Street is definitely a hub for scooter riders because you have a lot of fast casual takeout places, H and Chicken, a lot of really fast scooter riders with, well, that guy has a license plate, so good on him. But good lord, get a better helmet, sir. We also have the H Street streetcar, which I'll show you in just a moment. Go on, Richmond City Taxi Cab, you're in the wrong city, but I'll let you through. So that up there, up ahead, is the streetcar. And the streetcar is not named Desire. It's actually very undesirable. It takes up so much space on the street, and it cannot go around cars. And you may be thinking, well, doesn't it have its own dedicated lane? No, it does not. In fact, the lane is the lane in between the parked cars and moving traffic. And you can still drive, clearly, because this taxi cab was in that lane just a moment ago. You can still drive behind the streetcar and then obviously get stuck whenever it stops, but that's just transit. That makes sense. But it's so large and in the way, and it cannot deviate from its tracks. So if there's a car that, let's say that taxi cab parked just an inch further out, it blocks the whole streetcar. They have a fleet of tow trucks that are waiting on standby almost always to pick up and move cars off of the tracks because the streetcar just has no way of going around it. So you stop a whole group of people from being able to go around, from being able to get anywhere because the streetcar has to stop in the middle of the street, and everyone on the streetcar just has to wait until there's a tow truck that can push a car out of the way. It's insane. Normally they're waiting by the Cava. I don't think I see them this morning. Do not see them this morning. But here we go. We got a streetcar and then a bus waiting behind it. Again, you might be thinking, wait, there's a bus system and the streetcar in the same place? Yes, they go to the same location. The streetcar does not serve a very good purpose, and that really bums me out as a transit nerd, as someone who loves public transit, and I love the fact that DC has a streetcar. I just think, hey, this streetcar system is bad. All right, right now we're going over Hopscotch Bridge. I believe it's called that because of these little caricatures that are painted alongside or muraled alongside the bridge here. These guys. Hopscotch Bridge is very outdated and is kind of in desperate need for repair. Not just the asphalt on top, but the structural integrity of it underneath. I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. Hopefully it's not. The tricky thing here is underneath it are a lot of the train lines that go into the city, whether that's Amtrak or freight. And so you can't really work on it without shutting down trains. And that, despite this country mostly relying on automobiles, it's still a very vital part of this transit system network. Oh, this is a left turn only lane. Excuse me, sir. Oh, that's a Vespa. Oh, I love a good Vespa. If you know me personally or watched my last video, you knew that I had a Tao Tao at one point, which was my scooter, and then I had a Sim SYM Lance Cabo 125. I started my two-wheel journey on scooters, and I still love them. And I don't miss the Cabo, but I would like a Vespa, honestly. I just like the look of them. The styling of them is super cool. It's classic Italian. I want an older one, like a 1950s, 1960s Vespa P200E or Vespa. Anything with a manual transmission, those things are so cool. The manual grip shifters. This is why riding a motorcycle in the city is convenient. You can just go around. And I only do this if the cars are stopped. Does that make it any less legally favorable? No. Okay, see, my phone camera is still doing the auto exposure weird thing, but we're gonna be in Chinatown in a second. It's kind of like Mount Vernon area. This light always takes a while. You get a lot of people coming from the larger highway right there, the 395 coming in. And downtown we go. Traffic is not bad today. I'm actually very surprised. I guess it is a Saturday, but oh, that's a cool one. AMG GT43. Another farmer's market. You know, DC, we love our farmer's markets the second it gets nice out. I don't know if driving in the city is as interesting as driving in, like, for the viewers, I suppose. I don't know if driving in the city is more interesting than driving kind of rural areas or getting around outside of DC, but I figured it would be interesting to at least show that there's another motorcycle. I don't see too many motorcycles in the city. I see mostly scooters. What is it, a BMW GS 1200? From the two hands of it's a R1250. Is that one of the new ones? Oh, it is. Throw him two fingers. He gave me a nod. I'll take that. Sounds good too. There is the old Carnegie Library, which became the new Apple store. Fun fact: I used to work at Apple in college. I was the store. I went to school in DC, and I worked at one of the stores that was slightly outside of the city. I took my scooter to work every day, and I parked it right outside. It was again money saver because if I drove, the parking I think was $13 to $14 a day. And when you're in college and you're working retail, that is a lot of money. And honestly, it still is kind of high for parking, but you're parking there all day, it makes sense, especially in the city. I've seen event parking be as much as $50, which is important. You need to have good price parking, at least competitive price parking, to incentivize people to take other modes of transportation, like scooters, motorcycles, trains, buses, or even the godforsaken streetcar. So a little bit more about the streetcar now that we're out of the streetcar's path. They are replacing it, which is good. The mayor had stated they are replacing it with, I believe it's the next gen streetcar. Now, what that means is it's probably going to be a bus. I don't know what the fuck a next gen streetcar is. That just sounds like a bus to me. But maybe it'll draw power from the electric lines overhead. That at least is pretty cool. That is a ugly spoiler on the back of that Accord. Oof. Oh, with the lion. Damn, that is. Oof. Zoinks Scoob. This is mostly just going to be my observations about the city, talking a little bit about my personal life. But yeah, I worked at the Apple store in Maryland when I was in college, and it was a big enough store. It was not the original store because that was in Tysons, Virginia. I think that technically opened first before the Apple Loop store opened in San Fran or San Diego or one of the Sands. That was a fun time. The pay was pretty good for what I was doing. But the people were really nice, and it was a really good experience to just meet people and kind of learn about them and their needs for technology. And I had met, I'm trying to think, I had met like some celebrities when I worked there because you always get, okay, let's go. You always get people who own, like all the rich people own iPhones. So you get a lot of celebrities. You get a lot of crazy looking credit cards that I had never seen before. I had to look up what that, not Chase, the JP Morgan credit card. I know Chase is part of JP Morgan, but that JP Morgan credit card that you can only get if you have like 50 million in the bank or some absurd number that no like human should own. No single person should have. If you have that in the bank, then you get that credit card as a compliment. Um, I saw the Amex Platinum card every single day, but I saw the Amex Platinum card that's given to you by Charles Schwab. That's a card that you only get if you have X amount in the bank because you get it for free. It's like a courtesy. I saw the black card a lot, but people would come in and try to stunt. The real crazy thing was I saw a lot of cash, and so we had some cash businesses, like people who did business in cash. Like I had some guy who would did a delivery service of sorts, and I'm not going to go into more specifics. Um, and he paid and everything in cash. And I had one woman come in with $10,000 in cash, and it was so sad. Actually, she was an older woman, looked like she had kind of like rushed to get dressed that day, and she had came in with $10,000 in cash, and said, "Hey, I want to buy $10,000 worth of gift cards." And I was like, "Wow, that is the absolute maximum amount of money that we're allowed to put on a gift card." So, I mean, technically it's allowed, but I really don't feel comfortable doing that because I think you're getting scammed by some, random person in another country pretending to be the IRS. All right, I'm not going to get too political on this channel. The reason for that is because I travel a lot in and out of the country, and I don't want to ever get stopped and by someone be like, "Hey, you posted this video about X politics, and that is incongruent with the policies of a current administration." So I will never talk about politics until I have a large enough following to where it's actually impactful, instead of me just yapping on the internet. But you see, there's clearly some sentiment about the current administration if you have to put up gates around a large majority of the residents, let's just say. You have to corral the public. Maybe you're doing it wrong. Anyway, there's the Washington Monument. My blinker's been on for way too long. Oh, there's DC traffic. They be honking. Back to my Apple Store story. I was working there when the Carnegie Library Apple Store opened, and that's their global flagship here on the East Coast. So it's a pretty big freaking store. Steve Jobs had come to the opening of that one. Man, was I jealous. I'm just kidding, not Steve Jobs. Tim Cook came. Yeah, if Steve Jobs came, that would be something else. That would be something else. Oh, quit your honking. A lot of cyclists out today. Good job. Oh, I love this. See, when I have a family, like when I have kids, oh my gosh, she's reading the map for her mom. That is so cute. When I have kids, I'm getting an e-bike and doing that. I will not sell the motorcycle, but I will also have an e-bike and maybe a Vespa. Our current fleet of vehicles is that we have two Honda Metropolitans because we have a 2013 and a 2018 Metro. We bought the 2018 Metro recently because it was in really good condition. It was $1,600, so it's a pretty good deal for a Honda, even though it's a 50cc. And it's a new one, so it's, good engine. It starts right up. It is so convenient. But we bought that because the 2013 one was having some issues. The previous owner really did a number on it. We had bought the 2013 for $1,300 and spent like $800, I think, working on it because they put the wrong size spark plug in, so it was hella coiled, and we had to rebore out the spark plug hole and rebuild the entire top end. And when I say we, I do mean the dealership because I could not do that to save my life. I can do very basic things. Okay, excuse me, taxi friends. The line is up here. I was gonna go do a loop. Probably cut this video a little early because I'm running out of space on my phone. That's another thing about Apple that really ticks me off, really grinds my gears, is that the premium they charge for memory storage. Granted, it's fast storage, sure, You know, it's going to be faster than a micro. Oh my gosh, that is a fast scooter. It's going to be faster than a micro SD card, but oh, thank goodness. No one's coming. The micro SD card I paid for this thing, uh, making sure it's in the video, 256 gigabytes, 20 bucks. The upgrade cost from like a 256 to like a 512 on iPhone is like $150. That doesn't make any sense. They're just charging a crazy premium and upcharging for iCloud storage when you can max get 2 terabytes for $10 a month. So you're paying $120 a year for cloud storage because your phone is too darn small. No, it's brilliant. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not the first person to talk about this, and it's not even relevant to this channel, but it really grinds my gears that I have a 256 gigabyte iPhone 14 Pro, and it's running out of storage because, well, I also have way too many songs downloaded, but that's neither here nor there. Ooh, just hit 1,900 miles on this motorcycle. But 1,500 miles on it total, give or take, like 20 miles.